Someone commented on one of my videos and asked me to make a video on laziness. Now, laziness is one of the biggest things that I struggle with, but I think we all need to learn to be productive with the time that God has given us here. We need to be productive in the way we treat people, in getting things done, spending time with Christ, just being able to steward the time He's given us. He's given us many resources in this world. He's given me a phone to make videos with. He's given me a Bible to get to know Him closer. He's given me the gift of prayer. He's given Himself on the cross for my sins and yours. So He's given us all these things, and we need to learn to steward these things with the time that we have, so that we may be able to steward those things when we get to heaven. Jesus says, store up treasures in heaven and not here on earth, because the treasures in heaven are more valuable than the things that you have here. So when you do good deeds, when you serve Christ, when you're obedient, you store up treasures there. And when you're obedient, you're not being lazy, because Christ does not call you to be lazy and just sit around doing nothing. He calls you to lead other people to repentance and to obey Him. So when you obey Christ, you're not being lazy anymore. So when we obey what Christ has called us to do, right, we need to spend time with Him. We need to start using our time and being productive. We could clean up the house or read our Bibles. We should use every opportunity that we get, not for the flesh, but to grow in the spirit. So now when we're lazy, it's when we let our guard down, feel like we don't have to do anything. And laziness is very dangerous, because when you're lazy, you're very vulnerable to sin. This is one of the biggest triggers that I've seen when I'm feeling lustful and then go on to falling into lust. It's when I'm lazy and doing nothing. Because there are days where I'm so occupied that I have no time at all to think about sin or lust. But then there's days where I have nothing to do, and then I become lazy, and then I fall into lust. So when you're productive, when you're not lazy, you free yourself from the situation that will lead you to sin, and then you bring yourself to the situation that will lead you away from sin. So now, as Christians, as people my age, I know we all struggle with laziness. We don't feel like doing things that we should be doing, but we should remember that it's all for the benefit of us. Because when we're not lazy, we learn to steward the time that God has given us. We're going to learn how to steward the resources and the time that He gives us to do His work. So now, don't try to stop being lazy, but just trust in God to help you with those things, because Jesus understands the temptation that you get. Jesus understands when you're lazy. That's why Hebrews chapter 4 tells us that He has endured every temptation that we've faced, but He has never sinned. So trust in the Lord and not in yourself. That's my message for y'all. Peace.